Welcome to another episode of Real Charlotte Living, a podcast about Charlotte area lifestyle, business, and real estate. I'm your host, Kamilah Peebles Brathwaite. My guest today is Anne Steppe with Steppe Professional Organizing. Anne is on a mission to simplify spaces so her clients can live well with less chaos, less clutter, and less stress. Anne, welcome to Real Charlotte Living.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure to be here.
I'm so glad to have you here. Don't we all need a little bit more organization in our life?
I believe so. It's kept me busy over the years. So yes, I think everybody always needs a little bit of help in one or more spaces in their home.
And tell us, just so our audience can get to know you a little bit, tell us, how did you get started down this path?
Okay. So I am the daughter of a Marine, raised by a very buttoned up Brit, and grew up in a very organized, simplified home.
Okay.
So I think that's the root of it. I was a messy teen, but fast forward to a 12-year career at a church, and I was always in the closets and tidying up people's offices.
Okay.
And finally, a coworker said, just go do this.
Oh, wow.
You are very good at it. You're natural. And most people do not see the world this way and cannot take a space, and do what you do with it. And I thought, oh, what do you mean go do this? And so a little research and found out there's an industry, and here I am.
And there you are. I love it. I love when people are doing, it's a natural gift for you. And so you're living out like your calling in life.
I do believe that's true. Yes.
Talk to me about, I know you see a lot of things and people come to you for, all kinds of different reasons. I guess we should start with, what are the different services that you offer?
Sure. So we offer anything that is under your roof or between four walls. We will organize, basically, is the elevator speech.
Okay.
So we can handle your whole move. We can just do your pantry. If you have a playroom, we can do that. We can do a closet, garage, attic. So we really can help you in any space in your home or small office. We worked in some small businesses. And then one large business, even did a warehouse once.
Oh, wow.
So pretty much always up for a challenge.
And
don't really want to turn away any space that's in need of help. So we do it all.
So when you're going back to your first service, just because I'm a realtor and I'm always dealing with people moving, how does that work? Like, do you come and pack up the house for them, or what does that look like?
So it's sort of multifaceted. We will be called in most of the time by a realtor, sometimes by a mover. And so we say we get called in by you, and I do a walkthrough with the client. We put together a plan of how we're going to help them purge, edit down, pare down, get the house ready to have photos taken and go on the market and be ready for viewings. Sometimes we're partnering with a stager, and so we'll get the spaces prepped that people might be opening up and looking in, and then the stagers will handle the surface areas. That's fine. We're here to play nice in the same sandbox, and so we'll prep the house as far as it needs to be prepped. We do what I call a soft pack at that point in time, packing up things that aren't breakable, that don't need to be out for showings and things like that, and kind of get you down the road of being packed and ready to really move. So fast forward to, you have sold their house for them, they're now moving into their new home that you found for them, and now we roll up and unpack you. So we get all the boxes flattened, the paper out, things placed. I will have done a walkthrough ahead of time with the client to make sure we're on the same page.
That is a dream.
It is my most favorite service we do.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, because I love the challenge of this home going into that home, figuring it out, making it work. Really, the pare down, don't take to your new home what you didn't use in the old. And if there's a challenge, sometimes people are gaining square footage or different spaces, or they're losing square footage. We're about to take on a project where they're going from 9,000 square feet to 6,000 square feet. So I'll be walking both homes and helping them figure out what will go where, but also putting a little pressure on the editing process to say, now, you don't have these 3 rooms in this next house, but you have 3 rooms full of stuff here. So we need to address that. So, but on the unpack, it's really great because we'll use different organizational products to help create systems, that can be maintained through the longevity of you being in that home. That also will move and work with you also. But then in about 3 or 4 days, you look like you've been there 3 or 4 years. So it really is a awesome service, and I have yet to have a client that has said to me they wish they hadn't used that service. Because it really is the way to start yourself off in a new home.
Okay, and let's talk about, what do you find to be the most common challenge with clients?
This answer might surprise you, but a lot of the time it is them finding the time to commit to the process and then to commit to the maintenance of it. So that might be my first answer to that question. Second would be the push and pull of the spouse dynamic. Usually there's one spouse that wants to keep everything, and there's another spouse that's, going to make your side of the bed up if you get up in the middle of the night and use the restroom, right? So we see that a lot. So there's the organizing for the sexes, if you will. Then it's that family dynamic. So there might be one child that's very tidy, and there might be another child that is borderline hoarder. So it's really the biggest challenge, I would say, is the family dynamic and walking that line of, we're not therapists, but we kind of sometimes find ourselves in the role of active listening with our clients and trying to provide a solution that doesn't put us in a position to overstep boundaries. But the biggest challenge is managing a client's expectation of how much time and effort it's going to take to do one space. People typically 90% of the time will grossly underestimate how long a space is going to take. They think, how long can a pantry take? It's not even a big walk-in. It depends on how much you've put in there. The human capacity to stuff a space is quite remarkable. It still shocks me to this day. Well over a decade into this industry, and when things come out and it's all out and you see it, the general response is usually the same. Oh my gosh, I can't believe all that's in there. And then quickly followed by, where did that come from? So there's a lot of entertainment involved in too, but it's the family dynamic. It's a balance. And I'm pretty good with people, and most men and women in this industry are going to be. So walking that fine line of, do you really need that? And backing it up with knowing what I call a no-fly zone on something that they're going to take to the grave with them. And that's okay. My job is not to rip something out of your white knuckling hand, It's I
want you to come willingly.
Yes, it's to facilitate change. We're a coach, and so we want you to come to a decision on your own. Now we might nudge a little. We try to bring humor into that nudge. So that's the fun part of it, but the family dynamic can be tricky. For sure.
When you start pulling everything out, is overwhelm, is that
it will happen
a great word to describe that? Because I feel like, again, as someone who's myself has moved on several occasions, and I love to purge. It makes me very happy to see things go in the trash or wherever off to someone else's house.
Yes, right. Pay it forward.
But there's, to your point of underestimating, you start working on even a drawer, a closet drawer, your bedroom drawers, and you start pulling things out, and then it's like, oh my gosh, where's all this stuff? And it starts to feel overwhelming. And I know for me sometimes, then you kind of get paralyzed of now I don't even know what to do. And maybe I'll just shove this back in there and deal with this another day.
You literally just said exactly what I would have said. It goes from overwhelm to paralyzation. And so where I advise people to run a test on themselves, a little litmus test of how well they can handle overwhelm, being big overwhelm, little overwhelm, and still then being able to navigate the decision-making process while still moving forward on completing said drawer. So I'll tell people, set a timer and pick one drawer, just one. Say in the kitchen, the junk drawer, which we prefer family drawer, but we'll say junk drawer because it's junk drawer until we're done with it. Then it's the family drawer. So pull everything out, set your timer, pull everything out, make your decisions, and you can say we're on this surface here in your kitchen. We would make piles, maybe use Post-it notes of pins, blah, 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 business cards or coupons, all the things that come out of the junk drawer, probably a nail file and some chapstick and what have you. So then you're left with what's going to go back in the drawer. Then you can, if you've got drawer organizers ready, you can place those and put everything back in neat and tidy.
Okay.
Now look at your timer. Did that take 20 minutes, an hour, 3 hours? So then you can take that square footage of that drawer and multiply that into how long it might take you to do a much larger space.
Okay. Okay.
So that's why I tell people, unless you are really locked in and dialed in and potentially have a clutter buddy helping you, or have done this test and I can handle one part of my closet versus the whole thing.
Okay.
You have to really be careful about that because that's what happens. People get all gung-ho, especially my ADHD folks. They get that hit of dopamine by pulling everything out. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna knock this out today. Well, then the dopamine goes away and they're left with these piles everywhere and they think, oh my word. So then everything just gets thrown back in. So if you are gonna take a bigger space, once you've tested your time, still take small bites.
Okay.
So instead of trying to maybe do your whole closet in one day by yourself, just maybe look at your shoes.
Yes.
And then next go around, just look at your shirts.
Yes.
Then just look at pants and so on and so forth.
Okay.
And that's a way for individuals to handle spaces on their own. You just have to break it apart because when we come, there could be 2 to 4 of us in a space.
Yes.
So now you've got all this manpower in one space.
Moving more rapidly.
Yes. And when I come back to a client and I say, how many hours do you think we just put into that space? They'll say, well, we worked 10 to 4. Yeah, but there were 4 of us.
Yes.
That's a lot of manpower going into one space.
Yes.
And that is what people don't quite get. They're not prepared for that.
Yes.
When they try something on their own.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I like the idea of breaking it down too.
Yeah.
I think the hard part mentally for someone like me is I want to get it done.
I know. Yeah.
So to just say like, I'm going to reorganize the closet, but today I'm only going to do the shoes.
Yes.
But I do think that helps with the overwhelm as well.
And just to normalize that, I don't even do my whole closet in one fell swoop.
Yeah.
I wouldn't because I'm human and I get overwhelmed and it's different when it's your stuff.
Yeah.
So we have the advantage of being in someone's home.
Yes.
And there's no emotional attachment.
Yes.
There's no, not that I don't care, but I kind of don't care if that shirt came from your honeymoon.
Yes.
To me, it's just woven cotton.
There's no memory associated with any of it. Yes.
So I have jokingly, or maybe not jokingly, been called a memory crusher and a dream killer. But that's my job.
Yes.
So to have a person come in to help you that is a step away from the item is very beneficial. So that's why I said clutter buddy earlier, but you don't want to bring in someone that is going to tell you to keep everything because that's just enabling. that's not who you want.
Yes.
So yeah.
What impact do you think just decluttering has on mental health is such an important, it's always been important.
Sure.
But there's more awareness around it now. How do you think decluttering and organization, how does that help?
So I think it helps tremendously in the fact of what my clients say.
Okay.
Before we start, while we're working, and after.
Okay.
The language and the verbiage is transitional.
Okay.
And so it starts off with, as we said earlier, you're overwhelmed, you're paralyzed. I hear suffocating a lot in the beginning.
Okay.
And then in the middle, almost every job will joke, we are kind of the chaos that brings the calm, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And so there's sort of this wrecking ball that we bring to your space, which maybe not be good advertising, but it's what we do.
You're disrupting.
You got to, you got to get it all out, deal with it. It's time to pay the piper. You brought all this stuff in, now we're gonna deal with it. So we get it out, we create this chaotic scene, and then we deal with it, put it back. And so the client goes on this little ride with us and us with them. So it goes from overwhelmed to paralyzed to chaotic. And at one point, we'll always look around and I'll say, I swear we have a plan.
Yes.
I promise we're here to help.
Yes.
I know this looks bad, but we got you.
Yes.
And so then there's always this point, and sometimes on jobs, I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna finish this in time. And we do, we'll never leave you hanging. But then all of a sudden at a certain point in the job, you'll see everything just go whoosh. It just gets sucked up into the spaces and dropped in the drawers and put in the bins and in the baskets, and it's labeled, and we're like, oh, yes, here it is.
You're seeing the light.
Yes. And it's usually that last hour and then really the last 30 minutes, it is something to behold.
Yeah.
And then the client goes, oh my God, oh, why didn't I do this before? And I think, well, here's my number, call again.
Yes.
But I think they don't understand, there's the pruning process is rough, but then you're left with a budding flower. So the verbiage, how it changes, is very much related to how the space changes.
Okay.
Mental health wise, what we find is, I had one woman that we worked with, and she was severely obese, and she said, I'm paralyzed in my life. The space, I can't go in my basement. I'm traumatized by the basement. A lot of childhood trauma played into all this.
Okay.
We worked with her, coached her. She was delightful. She worked so hard. I really admired her
She
fortitude.
was committed.
She was committed.
Yeah.
And she had a therapist on board. And so by the time it was all said and done, we worked in the spaces. She was just in tears, happy.
Yeah.
She had made this big breakthrough, and later she ended up losing 100 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
And was that because she decluttered? Not the sole reason, but I think what happened is our external spaces are a reflection of our internal being. Mm-hmm. And so if our spaces are chaotic, our mind cannot settle into what we need to be doing and focus on. And so there was this great study done where people walked into a hotel room, and they were all wired up, scientists watching what they're doing, monitoring this. Heart and lung is what they were monitoring.
Okay.
They walk into a hotel room, perfectly fine, happy. Okay, they walk into the exact same setup of a hotel room, and it's messy. People said they felt the same. They felt no difference. However, the monitors said different.
Okay.
They saw the breath increase, the heart picked up. So take that into your home when you open up a closet or you step into a messy space. Your body is reacting.
Yes.
And our brains are also reacting.
Yes.
So our decision-making process, the frontal lobe that's trying to make those decisions, will kind of freak out if there's too much going on, especially if you have any type of processing disorder or challenge. Okay. That's where less is best.
Yes.
And it really does help your mental health to deal with these things and process through it. And everybody's situation is different. Some of the houses, there's sad things that have happened. Some things it's a great thing. Some things people are having to move into a space because something might have been forced upon them or life circumstances. But when you handle it in a manner with the proper support system, getting organized is, to me, it's less about the stuff than it is about the entire journey of it. Yeah. And so for me, that's what I love about my job. Is I'm sort of obsessed with living well with less, because in Corinthians it says, let all things be done decently and in good order. And so I feel like we are not meant to live in chaos.
In chaos, yes.
And we don't thrive in that.
Yeah.
Now, some people might say, oh no, I do.
I thrive in chaos.
Yeah, okay. You've got some skill sets that help you perform well.
Yes.
I wouldn't say you're thriving.
Yeah.
And so the mental health aspect to becoming organized, and it doesn't even have to be organized, and it doesn't even have to be that you've got drawer organizers and you've got the same hangers, which I love.
Yeah. It's
more about you having, I don't like the word control, but for lack of a better word, control over your space.
That's the word that came to my mind.
Yeah, and it could be
control
management.
Over your space.
Yeah, like you are managing it, it's not managing you.
Yes.
And so if people have come from a chaotic setting and then they can rein that in, it's very powerful to watch that happen with people. And they go from this to this, the shoulders drop back, they lean back a little, like you can watch them physically change. Like, for example, my one client, 100-pound weight loss.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is kind of the exciting component behind what I do. And you think, well, gosh, I thought you were just cleaning out a playroom. Well, I am, but I'm also helping little people not develop into ADHDers because they're surrounded by all this chaos. They're overstimulated. That's one of my pain points with my clients is I beg them, please don't put so much stuff in your kids' playrooms and rooms. Yeah. That's not good for their mental state.
Yeah. But I love that.
On my soapbox. I got a little bit of passion for this.
Yes, which is what we need to perform well, and it comes across when you're working with people and they know that it's more than you're not just moving boxes around and
taking
stuff from them and making them throw things away. There's a bigger purpose and meaning that's going to free them up and make them feel better.
Yes,
and
that's
hey,
the goal.
You might even lose a few pounds. Okay?
Right?
I think I'm going to go clean up my closet now. So one of the last things I want to ask you about is, okay, we've gotten everything organized. It's all pretty and labeled and hung on coordinating hangers. I do like that.
I do.
How do we maintain it?
Okay, so one thing that most people suffer from nowadays is overbooking themselves.
Okay.
And so they don't leave a lot of room in the margins for flex in their schedule.
Okay.
So while I am not a life coach or facilitating habit change within my clients' homes, I am speaking to them and trying to speak into their lives the awareness of that.
Okay.
So if you are running 90 miles an hour all day, every day, your spaces will show that. Fast forward to, you've brought us in, we've helped you with your space. Now how are you going to maintain it? I'm going to tell you, you're going to have to carve out time on a regular basis to deal with these spaces.
Okay.
Meaning regular decluttering. Maybe also looking at some purchasing habits.
Okay.
Carving out on your calendar, literally plugging it in your calendar, because we hold our calendar so sacred. You don't miss a doctor's appointment. You get your oil change in your car on your calendar, every 3,000, 6,000 miles, whatever. You have a lunch date with a friend. You honor that time that you've marked out, because time is sacred. So if you mark time like that in your calendar, or even just kind of keep it in your mind that before and after every holiday, before and after every birthday, before and after every start and stop of the school year, whatever markers there are throughout the year,
Okay.
little bites all the time. Okay. That's what people don't want to hear.
Yeah.
You bring stuff in all the time. Very few people are matching the output.
Sending it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have yet to leave a client's house when there hasn't been 1 to 4 Amazon packages at the door.
Yeah. We would probably be guilty.
So there's that. So, but it's carving out the time, and you have to make the editing and the purging a part of your, not maybe daily life, but regular circle of influence of how you live.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't do.
Okay.
And to me, if you spend the time, the effort, resources in getting, say, your closet purged down, beautiful, accessible, and enjoyable in the way you want it, but then you don't work and spend some time maintaining it, then it's all for naught.
Yeah.
And so I do have a lot of
and then
repeat
I'm calling
clients.
You back.
I know. I go back to a lot of clients a lot, and people say, oh, that's a great business model, right? And I think, no, that's not my goal. My end game is kind of like, you go to a chiropractor, maybe you have accident, you go for a week, and then you go 4 days, and you go 3 days. That's what I would like. I would like to just circle back into your life and tweak and edit and keep you on top of things, but not have to fully go back in and, raid the room again like we did the first time. And a lot of my clients, we've gotten to that point where if we've done your whole house, now we can come back and in one day hit about 4 or 5 spaces pretty quick.
Okay.
And that's what we call a tune-up. We'll tune it up, we tighten it up, we refresh. So, but you have to schedule time within yourself and make it a regular part of your life to edit all the time.
Okay.
It's not a sexy answer, but it's what you got to do.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you. Now, Anne has a couple of, I don't know what we call them, products or things that she uses and recommends that might be helpful to you guys. Do you want to show them those
We
things?
have some standard products that we use in a lot of our spaces that are accessible to anybody, from Target, Walmart, Amazon, Home Goods, and things like that. And so I just want to show you guys a few things that can have big impact that really anybody can do. You don't need to call in an organizer to do some of these things, but we'll give you some ideas on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. Great. All right, Anne has brought some items for us to take a look at. So tell us what you have here.
Okay. So this is just a drop in the ocean for the amount of organizational supplies that are out there in the world. I will say, try not to just go out and buy organizational products first, hoping that they'll help you in maybe your crisis.
If you build it, it will get organized.
Exactly. That's not really the case. We usually, that's where, professional can help you and come in and like help you know what you need in the space drives. But if you're doing this on your own, purge your space first, see what's left, then look at your products. That's my advice to the general public. So we all know about the Home Edit and their show, and they have this great product line. It's very versatile. This is just one example of some of the things they have. You can get it at Container Store, online, and at Walmart. So they have all different ones. What I brought here today is just this modular system that they have, and it is awesome. We use it in bathrooms, we use it in pantries, we use it for kids' art supplies. It can build off itself and stack. So it's awesome. It can sit in here, it can go here, and go here. So you can let your mind run wild with your imagination on how many ways you can use that. Yes, wonderful product. This is it's a very exciting name. The Container Store named it the plastic bin with handles.
Oh, okay.
I was like, isn't that everything in your store? But here it is. These come in various colors. We use these everywhere. We use them in the laundry room. We use them in the pantry. We use them under your sink. We use them in playrooms. There's a clear, there's a pink, there's a gray, and then we'll label it and for whatever's going in it. There are multiple sizes as well.
Laundry detergent in that, like in the bathroom or something?
Yep, anything.
I mean,
especially something that you want to catch a spill on. These are great. And because they're plastic bin with handles, you can move it easily. So those are awesome. I always say you can never go wrong with a Lazy Susan. This helps bring the back of a cabinet or a awkward corner to you. We use these a lot if someone's got a tough corner in a pantry. Oils, vinegars, etc. Honey, the spreads, anything gooey, sticky. These also can be used in your fridge. People don't necessarily think about using these in a refrigerator, but there's a really cool one on Amazon that's rectangular, and it comes out and spins, and it's pretty clever. So this is one of our favorite go-tos. For
something about a spinning item.
I know, any number of things.
You just want it.
It's great. It can be at your sink in your bathroom too, to corral things. It's a simple, very inexpensive item that anybody can use. We also use a ton of iDesign and InDesign products. This one is awesome to create in certain cabinets where you may not have a pull-out shelf. This can kind of create that idea of you can pull this to you, and you're not utilizing the length of your cabinet. So you don't want to put something this short in a cabinet that's this long. You're missing the opportunity to use that square footage.
I like that because I find that I put things like all towards the front. Because I don't want to have to climb into the cabinet to go get it.
The further back it goes like that, it's lost to you. So these come in various sizes and widths, and again, very versatile product. We use this also under sinks, in pantries, you name it. We use them at bars even sometimes because like the seltzers can go in there. This is a one I got off Amazon. These come in and out, so you can decide if you want to divide it there or not. All of them can be in or out. These are wonderful for bars in a pantry. Hydration packets are a big thing these days. I just had a lady who sells nails, and she had like nail packets separated out in these. And so that was clever. She did that, not me. Give her credit where it's due.
Protein bars and all that. I like that.
I don't know, an artist might put paint in there. Who knows? So again, very versatile piece. This is, this is from the Container Store. They have it in white. There are two sizes. And this, for some reason, we always lean towards putting medicines in these. Allergies, stomach, I'm bleeding. You name it, we can put it in there. A lot of times we're making a medicine cabinet and we might have to go a little higher than someone's height might be able for them to reach. So the handle on this
is helpful.
Our vertically challenged people bring that down.
Anne, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been so helpful. I hope our audience has gotten some ideas. I definitely want them to be able to learn to live with less with you. So tell our audience how they can get in touch with you.
You can find us on Instagram. You can go to our website. That's the best way probably to contact us is stepbystepporganizing.com. We have a contact form that you fill out there.
Okay.
And then we reach out and set a date to come invade your home. Just kidding. Help you get organized and come up with a process and a plan for you.
Okay, so, that is fantastic. I'll make sure to have her website link in the notes for the show. That's a wrap for today. I thank you for listening and watching, however you're viewing the Real Charlotte Living podcast. I'm your host, Kamilah Peebles Brathwaite. Until next time.